Greetings. My allergies are going legit insane. And I'm gonna play Animal Crossing today. I also don't have my glasses on. So I can't see shit. And I'm gonna talk about cringe. I'm gonna talk about cringe and being a freaking teenager or a pre-teenager and being like cringe as hell because Mary Jo, Ann, and Joseph. Lord, was I cringe. Lord, was I cringe. And not only cringe, I was publicly cringe. And just so that y'all can, see my credentials, I used to post on Instagram because, okay, look, I'm super fucking depressed. I feel like my parents don't love me. I feel purposeless and I kind of low-key want to kill myself. And so I'm posting on Instagram for like reaching out. Cries of help, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's just it's blunder years, right? But it's like, I believe that has made me into the woman that I am today and has made me, it's contributed to my growing success as a person because I no longer allow these things to get me down, although I am about to share some quite cringe things with you. So, one post that I did was like 3 images of my eyes. One of them was like normal, one of them was like gray, black and white, and the other one was like black and white, and I had like black scleros. And it was like, sometimes the monsters are within us, or something like that. And then one of my friends at the time, or like a few years ago, brought back to my attention this one that I did, where I don't know what the picture was, but he goes like, I don't even know how he brought this up because like, what the hell? It was pink lips, black soul. Oh my god! I just have to say, I kind of ate with that one. I kind of ate with that one because, anyway, my point is, like, don't look back on that with shame. Look back on that with like humor and appreciation and really like understanding like why you did that in the first place. And I told you why I did that in the first place. And I just hold the phone. This is probably not a very good thing to choose to do, but anyway, like while I'm filming, but whatever. So I just am very like, I feel very in touch with my cringe, because to be cringe is to be free, you know? To be cringe is just such an integral part of like being a freaking person that I feel like it's doing you and me a disservice to say, oh my god, that was so cringe and gross, and like, oh my god, do you remember when you like, and essentially like creating I think kind of like external like meaning where there really isn't any, that like you learn how to be like a less cringe individual, or really just like a fully fledged individual when you're able to own the parts of yourself that like other people laugh at, or that you yourself laugh at, or find undesirable. Because what, like, does it really matter? You know, like in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter all of the like really weird and cringy shit that I used to do, or like the like people like laughing at me, or just sort of being like publicly embarrassed? Like, does it really matter that much, you know? Or like being loud in public, or doing things against the norm, like, does it really matter? And like, to what extent am I going out there and like living my life and feeling a sense of like freedom more so than somebody else who's like really locked into this, I literally am so cringe and like I can't even blah blah blah, you know what I mean? Like, like, to what extent, forgive me, but to what extent is that like kind of doing yourself a disservice and doing your growth a disservice, doing your like your changing as a person a disservice? Because if I let being cringe hold me back, I wouldn't be here, like, talking to you like this in my freaking bed with my freaking allergies, playing freaking Animal Crossing. Like, I just wouldn't. And that would make me less happy. And that would make me less fulfilled in my life. And now I'm not saying that, like, because I don't know, because there's a thing about this that's like regret, right? Like, you don't want to regret, I guess. Oh, this is like cute now. Oh my god. Okay. You don't want to regret things. Like, regret kind of feels icky sometimes, right? But at the same time, I feel like regret is something that is really just like built up in our minds, that is legit when you think about, like, you look back at the past and you're like, oh, that was embarrassing, or, you know, I could have approached it in a different way, I could have been more mature or whatever. But you didn't, and it's in the past, and you cannot do a singular thing to like take back everything that already happened. Like, somebody witnessed it, or if nobody witnessed it, you witnessed it, and that's gonna stick with you forever. And there's nothing that you can do to control somebody else's like what's it called, memories. So why be caught up in what you should have done or could have done, or, you know, whatever, instead of the next time that something like that happens to you, being like present enough to not react in the same way that you did before, in the way that you regret before. And something I also want to touch on is like tattoos. I have tattoos that I no longer love the meaning of. I'm pretty sure every single person that has tattoos experiences that at some point in their life. But in my beautiful, mature, huge, juicy, wrinkly ass brain of 18, when I first started getting tattoos, I came to the realization, the conclusion, the idea that I wanted them and liked them enough at some point to put this on my body. And while it's not necessarily indicative of who I am today, it is indicative of who I have been, and having imprints of the past in this like present awareness that what has happened to me has happened to me. Who I am is who I am. Who I have been is who I have been, and who I will be is who I will be. Kind of like lets all of that like negative, kind of regretful energy go, because I'm just not really interested in plaguing myself like over and over, questioning like, oh my god, like, why did I do this to myself, or why did I say those things, or whatever, when the best that I can do for myself and for a person that I've wronged, or like, you know, whatever context that this requires is like apologize to them, whether that be in person or just to yourself. Apologize to yourself and just accept that it happened and like move on with my life, and then try not to keep doing that like to other people. I know that I experienced a lot of regret, like about how I've treated people that I have cared about in the past. And I think a big part of this, and a big part of like spiritual healing or just healing in general, has to do with like acceptance and forgiveness and just being okay with things that have happened to you and okay with things that you've done to other people. Because I'm not gonna like reach out to people that I haven't talked to in like decades. Okay, maybe not decades, I'm not that old, but I'm not gonna reach out to people that really like would be better off like not hearing from me. And I don't feel like it's important for me to really step beyond what I think is necessary. And for me, it's enough to sometimes just apologize to somebody without like saying it to their face, especially when it's not really something that's like relevant anymore. Or that you just like, if you don't want to, like, you don't freaking have to. There's like no rules that are like, if you're sorry, you have to tell the person, you know what I mean? My hair looks really cute right now. I got a haircut, and by got a haircut, I mean cut my hair myself because I'm a bad bitch. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? If I was living in this, like, I am cringe, I have to be small, I have to be, you know, I wouldn't say that, and I wouldn't say that I'm a bad bitch. Because one, I would be too insecure, and two, I would just be like, what about what other people think of me? And like, I still think about that sometimes, and that's fine. Because you know what? I'm a human being that has grown up in a society that has promoted, really like subservience to the self and subservience to like government and society and blah, blah, blah. But like, I deserve to like not do that. And so do you. And you deserve to like live your life. Be appreciative of the things that you have. Be appreciative of the places that you've been, because essentially what that has done for you is like brought you to this person that you are today. And I will be damned if I think that all of the things that happened to me were like not good and not didn't make me who I am, or like not important, because they are. Because if I hadn't post pink lips, black soul, then I wouldn't be chill enough to like go out into the world and be like, you know what? I'm feeling like kind of intense emotions right now. Because screaming viscerally has like severely cleansed my soul and cleansed like a big part of like this anger that I have within me. Anyway, you are perfect. You are amazing. You are Linda Evangelista. No. Look, I'm just saying, when you own yourself, when you own your past, when you own your present, you own your future, when you own the elements that make you who you are, you feel less inclined to explain to somebody else why something may have happened, or why it was important, or why you did it, or why blah, blah, blah. Like, instead, just doing things and just, like, not being weighed down by a version of you that, while doesn't necessarily exist in the future, still had, or sorry, in the present, still had and has, like, valid feelings of, you know, sadness, or, like, fear, being left out, like, you know, not being pretty, like, being fat, like, whatever. Like, these parts of you still exist, and they still deserve to have their moment. And if that moment looks like embarrassing little moments of, you know, ghosting someone, or, you know, saying something silly, goofy, stupid, making bad food, like, all of these, like, truly very extremely, I'm loving this, like, horn that I have going on. Like, this, like, wow. Essentially, that shit keeps you small. Essentially, you are condemning yourself to a life of mediocrity if you cannot accept the things that have happened to you and the things that you have done in the past. Because the past is the past, and the future is the future, and that's why they call it present the gift. Anyway. I don't know what else to say. I just think y'all, like, it's like, to be cringe is to be free. Because, yeah. So, take that as you will. I want to keep talking. I want to keep, like, chatting with you. What should I talk about? Yeah, let's do radical acceptance. Okay. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. Hold on. It's fucking simple, mate. That was bad. Anyway. You are a result of every single thing that has ever happened to you, and every single thing that you have ever done, and every single impact you've ever made in the world. You are a direct living result. I'm not gonna lie, my hair looks fucking phenomenal right now, and I'm just like, I just woke up and my hair looks like this. Like, you are a result of everything that's happened to you, good and bad, right and wrong, fun and not fun, and cute and not cute, ugly, sad, happy, blah, 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 parents, grandparents, children, siblings, nature, environment, city, rural. Like, you are political. I was going to say conservative and Democrat, but I did not. Political. You are a result of all of these things. Cheating, not cheating, blah, blah, blah. They have made you who you are. They have made you what you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you think is right, what you think is wrong, what you think is important and not important, what you think is cool and not cool, what you think is pretty and not pretty, and good and bad. And more often than not, I would say, in people who are dysfunctional to a degree, whether that be having trauma, whether that be CPTSD, or just like things that have happened to them in life, like financial trauma or political trauma, not trauma, but just like issues, okay? More often than not, if you're experiencing something deeply, deeply unsettling to your soul, to your body, to your mind, you have now taken this experience and propagated the result of the experience, which is the feeling that you have had post-experience, which has now colored the way that you view all and any experiences following that experience. It doesn't always have to be related, but most typically it is to do vaguely with whatever happened. So I want to be a little bit more specific. Let's say you go throughout childhood being dismissed by your parents, which, me too, Mary, me too. What might happen is you might now feel the need to either, one, prove to yourself that you are dismissed by others and by society. You may try to look for people to prove to you that you are not dismissed, or that you should be paid attention to, taken care of, compassion, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And other things. You will go out through your life seeking to prove or disprove this to be true. And this is true of like all things. So, if you are extremely conservative, you will go out and try to prove to yourself through other people's actions that the way that you view your political standing is correct. It's confirmation bias, but it's also self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's also, oh my God, wait. Okay, so y'all know I don't like edit my videos, but recently I've been kind of wanting to like throw up a little bit of like a, this is what confirmation bias means, just in case you don't know. Anyway, I'm just excited. I'm just happy. Okay? So, looking to prove or disprove what you have experienced and what is going on in your life. And when you are most typically proven correct, what it does is deeper entrench and deeper confirm this thing that's true that you've experienced to you. And so now when other people present a different side of reality, you are essentially reactivating whatever trauma, whatever experience, negative experience that you had in the past. You are reactivating that and making that your reality again. And so that's how our frequency determines our reality, our vibration. Because if you're constantly living in a fear-based mindset, if you're constantly thinking, like literally, let's just even think about it like growth versus lack, like a mindset. If you're thinking from a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to thrive, or opportunities to change, or opportunities to just like have new experiences, blah, blah. Like, seriously, why have I not been doing this hair before? Like, my God. Anyway. Y'all are some real ones for watching through this. Okay. When you prove to yourself that the things that you experienced are true markers of your reality, are true markers of what it means to be you, for me, it would be, you know, all of the identifying things that make me who I am, you limit what can come through after that. I am recognizing that I was talking about radical acceptance, and I was talking about, well, you know, this still ties in, growth versus lack mindset. But essentially, when you get stuck in one way of thinking, or you are influenced by a past event that happened to you, and wanting, because you know that it's possible, a difference, like a contrast in what you're experiencing, but not bringing that in because the way that you've been reacting and responding to things are always with, like, under the guise of confirming your past beliefs, you will only ever attract the same things into your life, or only ever respond to things in the same way in your life, because you do not know what it's like to accept what's happened to you and let it go. Because at the end of the day, I say that so much, and every single time I say it, I just want to say at the end of the day it's night, but I just get that that would like take me like nowhere. So at the end of the day, you will end up in the same situations, reacting the same way, responding the same way, and not ever changing that, because to you, your worldview is the correct worldview, that your way of looking at life is the right way of looking at life, that your perspective is the most objective or truthful perspective. But the reality is that it's only objective and it's only truth to you, because there are so many perspectives that one can hold about the universe and about reality. But the often most comfortable and most like sustainable one that feels the best for us is the one that we're like used to, the familiar one. Even if it doesn't always take us down the routes that we want to go down, or like, you know, present us with the same opportunities that somebody that has perhaps, let's say, a growth mindset does. So, I don't really know if there's any identifying in the moment. I have a lack mindset, or I have a perspective that is leading me down paths that I've seen before, because that's like super meta and it's like super like aware. And like, I think that once you get to the point where you're like, you actually recognize like, oh, I've been like living my life in confirmation bias this whole time, like then you can start making those connections, but that's not the point. Radical acceptance happens when you are willing to let go of the way that the past has dictated your future, and you are able to look at life, look at things, look at realities, look at situations in a way that removes your own personal emotions, your own personal bias, your own personal fears, and like, you know, past iterations of the same thing that's happened to you, and you are able to find something else within it that is also true, like capital T, true. And when you do that, you are able to acknowledge that everything that has ever happened to you in your entire life has led you down this path for a reason, for you to get to the point of where you're at today, which is that I can decide that I don't want to keep repeating the same patterns, or that I don't want to keep like living in fear of like running into this person, or I don't want to keep proving to myself that that life is gonna dismiss me, because at the end of the day, the only thing that I'm really proving to myself is that I'm not worthy of being listened to. Not that I am like, you know, not that I should be dismissed per se, but that I deserve to be dismissed. Okay, so once you get to that point and you're able to say, hey, homeboy, and homeboy is yourself, I don't want to keep living like this. Your next step is to simply acknowledge and simply accept all of the facets of your reality as they are, as they have been, and as they will be. Understanding that you are, like, at the end of the day, you are the conduit for your own change, that you are the conduit for your own reality being whatever it is that you want it to be, which is, like, for me, I would like to know that I'm worth listening to, know that I'm worth practicing like self-care, practicing appreciation for like the world and blah 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 blah, okay? And the only way that I can do that is if I release these karmic or just like, you know, ties to the past that keep me stuck, that keep me repeating the same patterns, that keep me small, that keep me ashamed, that keep me cringy. Because when you are able to acknowledge and accept your cringe, you are no longer cringe. You are just a person, and you're just experiencing very broad things of life. Two, holy shit. Let's just put it out there that young people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm just kidding. Oh! While I do think that children and young people in general have quite literally the most, or the best perspective about life, I also think that it's true that in our society, in this society, we've grown up learning and thinking that there are certain goods and bads when it comes to living life. And high schoolers and middle schoolers are no exception, because they are completely unformed ideas. They are unformed little, it's like Rick and Gaia's little men. Like, it's like those, like they're kids. They're little fucking earth kids. They're that. Holy shit. Like, I know you see this. I know you see this. Okay. Basically, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because most of the time what they are talking about is a repetition of what they've heard before. That any child that comes to school is bringing to school what they got at home, or trying to run away from it, and inadvertently are bringing the same energy back into the school, but are like not aware of the fact that they are doing that. And so for me, recognizing that the morons who were talking shit about me or making fun of me for posting like silly ass shit on the Instagrams, their opinions don't matter, because really they're not reflections of me, they're reflections of themselves or their home life or whatever, and that they're more complex than the like very hurtful, let's say, perspectives that they have shown me in the past. In fact, I ended up being friends with like all of them, or at least like acquaintances, and learned through that perhaps it was good, it was funny for them, but also it didn't need to be hurtful for me, because again, I have this perspective that had that not happened, I wouldn't be comfortable with being embarrassing today or talking about being cringe today. That I wouldn't be comfortable dismantling my own fears about what that rejection meant for me on a larger scale, what rejection in general meant for me, and how I did or did not allow myself to grow from it. And at the end of the day, it's not really very serious what other people think of me, because what other people think of me has way more to do with what they think of themselves than it does of me. And even if the sayings or the chitterings were valid or, you know, true, it still doesn't take away from this very real idea that you are a collection of experiences. And had you not experienced cringe, had you not been cringe, had you not had moments of like regret or like fear about the past, you would never be able to get over them. You would always be cringe. You would always be like upset and feel ashamed over really very normal things. This actually brings me to the idea that we as a society have essentially created the condition and the expectation that dancing, singing, making music, you know, really just like movement of the body, movement of the vocal cords, movement of energy and of life within yourself, of like life force energy within yourself, is a commodity, is something that is a skill, is something that is marketable and profitable and, you know, monetizable, that we are and we should be ashamed if we're not good at something or not good at specifically those things, instead of every single human being is designed to dance and to sing and designed to express physically and express vocally and express with their bodies instead of keeping that shit locked away because you're not a very good dancer or because you're afraid of looking stupid in front of people you don't want to look stupid in front of, whatever it is. Genuinely, what a stain on our society, because I just think of all of the times that I either knew somebody that wanted to dance but didn't, or I myself wanted to dance or sing but didn't, out of fear of looking stupid, when if I had just done that, it would feel way more freeing and way more liberating and exciting and happy feelings inducing to simply do that instead of to keep that shit locked away because of some old white man's opinion. So to be cringe is to be free. To be a person is to be free. To be happy in your body, happy in the things that you give to the world and the things that you take from it, is to be free, because you are the only fucking thing that matters. As far as opinions go, as far as like who's growing here, the bully or the bullied, you know? And if it's both of y'all's, because girl, I was a bully, hello. And it took, I think, being ridiculed, being introspective about the pain that I've caused others to like put me where I'm at today, to feel confident in the things that I have to say, to feel self-assured in myself, to feel comfortable in my body, to feel safe where I go, like all of these like very, very huge things that are true of my reality. So yeah. Genuinely, they call me Donald J. Trump. They think J stands for genius. That's not how he says it, but it's a good one. You are a human being. You cannot escape the cycle of cringe. You cannot escape embarrassment. You cannot escape awkwardness. You cannot escape. So the best thing that you can do is to really just go head first and become unacceptable. What is it? I saw this thing. It was like, people pleasing is over, become unacceptable. Because let's be so freaking for real. It feels better and it feels more freeing to live your life not according to the bylaws of others that really are not there themselves. That they cannot do the same things that you're doing because they're afraid and they're embarrassed and they're shy. But you don't have to be shy just because they're shy, and you don't have to be awkward and embarrassed because they're awkward and embarrassed. You can go and dance and be and look bad at it, or go and sing and not be very good at it, because that's what your body wants. That's what your soul wants. And hot damn if I'm gonna freaking listen to somebody else's wants and needs before my own. Anyway, just got a fishing text. Woo! I love you all so very much. So much. And go into the middle of the forest and let out like a blood-curdling scream. Or like do like a dance in the middle of the store. Or go like, talk loud to your friends. Or be chatty. Be just, be anything other than like normcore or norm coded because you think that you have to be, because nobody says that you have to be other than like people who don't matter. So yes, 40-minute video. Yeah. Y'all the best. You the best. You are, yeah. Bye.